Wow, what an amazing fight card. Dricus Duplessis chokes out Israel Adesanya in the 4th round. Dricus started good. Then in the middle rounds, it looked like Izzy was going to catch up. Dricus looked really tired. I know he always looks tired, but when everybody else was saying he looked tired, I was like, no, he looks good. He always finishes his opponent, so what's everyone complaining about? But this time I was worried because, I don't know, something about Dricus' movement makes me think that he's about to get knocked out, kind of like Benoit with the Dustin Poirier fight. It looked like something like that was going to happen in the 3rd and 4th rounds versus Izzy. But man, just as it looked like something like that was going to happen, Dricus took Israel Adesanya down and choked him the frick out. Oh my God, what wonderful emotions flooded my body. Freaking brilliant. I loved it. We had Gamrot and Dan Hooker. Close fight. Gamrot knocked down Dan Hooker in the 1st round, but then later on in the 1st round, Dan Hooker knocked down Gamrot even harder and with an even cleaner shot. And in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, I would say Gamrot landed more strikes and took him down more, but maybe Dan Hooker's shots were cleaner. But something about the way Gamrot moves out of shots, he always runs backwards, and the way he runs backwards makes me think he's not the best at dodging strikes. He doesn't look comfortable with strikers at all. And Dan Hooker was doing the pressuring and pressuring him down and landing strikes here and there, whereas Gamrot was Gamrot was going backwards, so that didn't look good on the judge. Didn't look good to the judges probably, and that's why they gave it to Dan Hooker. I think Gamrot won by a bit, but I'm not too sure. It could have gone to Dan Hooker, and it did go to Dan Hooker. We also had Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. There was no knockout, surprisingly. Just 3 rounds of strike here, strike there. Rozenstruik was landing the cleaner strikes, but there wasn't much action. And Tai Tuivasa touched him like a couple of times, but I think Rozenstruik did land more, so he was the rightful winner. Oh my God, Steve Erceg versus Kai France. Kai France knocked the F out of Steve Erceg. And when everybody had it as a foregone conclusion like that Steve Erceg would win, I found it surprising because in my mind, like Kai France is like really good. I'm like, but Kai France is really good though. I don't remember much about him, but I just remember him being really good, really scrappy, and really hurting his opponent. And that memory turned out to be right because he didn't knock out Steve Erceg. I know Steve Erceg knocked out his previous opponent before, Alexander Pantoja, but I'm like, Kai France is also good. I remember that, and he proved it. But yeah, man, what an amazing fight. Dricus and Izzy. At the beginning of the fight, Dricus put his hand out to do a fist bump, and Izzy was apprehensive at first, but he did a quick one right at the end, and then the fight began. And at the end, they buried the hatchet. They were all friendly with each other. Dricus spoke with the highest regard of Izzy and said he didn't mean to hurt him, and said all the right things to come across as a top-class gentleman. And there was a funny moment where Izzy kissed his hand and then did that on Dricus's lips, which was funny, I guess. But yeah, it seems like they buried the hatchet and they're all good together. And it looked like Izzy was going to retire, but he said, no, I'm not going to. He said he's not going to retire. He said he felt the best he's ever felt. He just lost to the better man tonight, and he can't wait to come back. So, man, it was an awesome evening or awesome morning of events, of a fight card. Amazing fight. I absolutely loved it. Like and subscribe.